Finally, this age of email and Twitter, how often do you find yourself looking for a good old-fashioned pen? Easy to forget that having a nice pen was once a status symbol. And if you don't understand why, just check out some of the incredible writing instruments that will be on display this weekend at the 10th Annual International New York City Pen Show. Here with a preview is Ed Fingerman. He is the Director of Operations for the Fountain Pen Hospital. Ed, welcome.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
What's the Fountain Pen Hospital?
The Fountain Pen Hospital is the complete pen emporium. It dates back to 1946. We've been located in Lower Manhattan since '46. It's been owned by a single family through the entire 60-plus years.
Nothing but pens, huh?
Well, pens and a few accessories, but pens is primarily.
So there's a whole subculture out there of people who are just nuts about pens.
This is true. This is true. Although we don't consider it a subculture, we consider it the norm.
I see. I'm the subculture in this context. Well, so you brought some really interesting writing instruments here, the part of a collection.
Yes.
And why don't we look at some of these things right now, because I'm just curious about what makes a pen a good collectible item.
Sure. Well, it varies. Aesthetics, age, quality. I brought these two. This one belongs to my granddaughter, Sydney.
Just hold them in one place here, Steve. Where do you want me to hold these things? Right here? Okay.
These were made by Waterman. They're called the Ripple. And you see the variance in size. Mm-hmm. A pen like the smaller one would sell for about $250 today, whereas the large one would sell for about $2,000.
Oh, really?
Because when they were made, they sold perhaps 500 of the smaller for every one of the larger. Maybe $3 to $12, which in the 20s was a small fortune, the $12 at least.
I'm guessing some of these down here you've got are a bit older than the ones I just held, right?
Yes, these all predate the fountain pen era. These are colloquially called dip pens for obvious reasons, since you didn't fill them with ink as one would a fountain pen. You dip them in the ink.
Well, some of us may remember inkwells in the desk at school.
Sure.
Where you actually had the little well to dip the pen into.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. All these fountain pens filled from inkwells, ink bottles. We have brands of ink from 15 manufacturers. It's not as quaint as one might expect, but should you come to the pen extravaganza this weekend, you'll see quite a selection. There'll be tens of thousands of pens from over 100 dealers worldwide. And
sounds irresistible. Where do pens go? I can't tell you how many pens I've lost. Nobody I know ever admits to finding a pen. Everybody loses pens. Where do they go?
Garbage, which makes them quite collectible, because tens of millions of pens were manufactured from the 1880s through the 1960s, and as they so-called died because you couldn't fill them anymore, or people were attracted to other writing instruments, they put them in drawers, and too many of them were thrown out when the person who owned them passed on. All
right, that's the 10th Annual New York City Pen Show, and it's at Central Park Hotel, October 15th through the 17th.
Correct.
So, great. $10 to get in. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And that'll do it for New York Nightly News. Good night.